Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe for multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to what has been a fantastic session on Dalal Street as far as the bulls are concerned. We'll pay first the attention to what's happening on the index level, and then we'll drill down as to where the maximum activity on the long side is. Nifty at the moment almost close to its fresh day's high, up 0.5%. 20,945 in front of you, and at the moment the advanced decline ratio within the Nifty is somewhere like 30s to 20. That means for every 2 stocks that are falling, that are 3, those are rising. Somewhere like 1:50 p.m. the index had actually dipped to an intraday low, but from then on, because there is such a pent up demand for a lot of quality stocks, we've seen this index again reclaim the early morning highs, and let's hope that over the next 40-45 minutes you'll see the magical number of 21,000 on the Nifty. We've been on a roll over the last 8 trading sessions thanks to the electoral victory of the Bharatiya Janata Party in 3 heartland states, and it's been a fantastic ride so far. Let's see this contribution of 91 points. Where is it coming from as far as the index heavyweights are concerned? Of course, you have a very strong rally in market defensives these days, today in particular, which is TCS at the moment at 35.78, days high 1.33% higher, Infosys a percent higher at about 1469, and in terms of the other index heavyweights, you have HDFC Bank 1628, 0.3% higher. You have Reliance that is at 2462, up a percent, and of course HDFC Bank up about 0.26%, 1628. The point as far as the bank Nifty is concerned is a bit of weakness, and there is no cause for concern there because we are dealing with the weekly expiry of this particular index, down barely 100 points, 46,911. The intraday high for this one was above 47,000, so a new magical number coming here. Remember, over the past 5 trading sessions, the Nifty Bank has appreciated 5.6%, making it the best performing large index globally. The Nifty in turn is up 4%, which is over the last 5 trading sessions, making it the second best, biggest index globally. We have Vinay Rajani joining us. He's the Senior Technical and Derivatives Analyst at HDFC Securities. Vinayji, a very warm welcome to you. Good afternoon. We've seen the Bank Nifty correcting just about marginally on its weekly expiry day. The Nifty also heading towards 21,000. What is your sense of the market at the current level, and any particular stocks or indexes that find favor to you on technical charts?
Yeah, good afternoon, Shailendra, and thanks for having me on the show. So you talked about the bank nifty. So yes, it is down today, but it is not out. We can say positional trend is still intact. ICICI Bank, the large cap private sector bank, and SBI from the PSU banking stock has seen some profit booking at higher level, but overall primary trend is still positional trend is still positive, and overall it looks like that it is into a continuation of an uptrend. So this should be taken as a buying opportunity, especially in the stocks like ICICI Bank. Previously, we also discussed about the fresh breakouts on the Bank Nifty chart, which was a inverted head and shoulder pattern breakout. And at that time, Bank Nifty was much lower than this level. So as of now, I believe that stocks have got big breakouts on the charts, and private sector banks, PSU banks can perform well from here. So I'm expecting the decent highs to be taken out soon, which is around 47,250. So overall, I'm expecting that Bank Nifty could extend this rise towards the 48,000 in the coming days. And as far as Nifty is concerned, Nifty is also into an uptrend. Today is the 7th consecutive session of rising, and there are no signs of reversal as of yet. If you were to see the long to short ratio of FIs in index future, yesterday it reached to 0.97. That means most still FIs are net short and they are covering their shorts gradually. In the starting of November, they were zero. The ratio was 0.12 and it has now reached to 0.97. So after covering their shorts, they have reached almost a 1 to 1 ratio. Now they are carrying shorts similar to the longs, and the put call ratio is still at 1.37, which is also at a comfortable level. Not cannot be considered as a overbought situation looking at the PCR. So overall, I believe that still there is a chance that both the indices will extend its rise. And as far as Nifty's target is concerned, we are expecting Nifty to reach a target of 21,190, which happens to be the 61.8% Fibonacci extension level. So for
Right.
Bank Nifty, yeah, so we are bullish on both the indices.
Wonderful. Let's look at some price points that are at the moment there on the screen. A bit of very mild profit booking happening on Adani Enterprises at 29.13. The stock is down 1.5%. And if you look at the intraday high for Adani Enterprises, it was 31.54. So a bit of a profit booking happening there. Remember, this stock had surged very strong double digits in yesterday's trade, and of course the early morning lump up was also equally sharp. Let's pay attention to Adani Ports. At the moment, this particular stock is in the green. You have about a percentage point worth of gain, 1.1% higher. The intraday high has been 1082 and the stock at 1023. So a bit of an intraday profit booking happening here. Other stocks such as Adani Total, Adani Energy Solutions, as also the two cement counters are in fairly good shape. Adani Total in front of you, 18% higher again. As far as another Adani Energy Solutions is concerned, an 8% rally, and Adani Green 13% higher. So a large chunks of this particular business group are doing fantastically well. This is not the stock to show. Maybe we can have a look at Adani Wilmar as well, 3.5% higher, 394. Vinay is with us. Mr. Rajani, anything that catches your fancy in the Adani group of stocks? Has the rally outreached itself, or is there something still left interesting, whether it's the cement stocks, whether it is businesses where you have long-term financial performances such as Adani Ports, Adani Power? What looks good to you?
Yeah, so if you look at all Adani stocks, two stocks are at all-time high, where one is the Adani Port and the second one is Adani Power. So a stock which is leading from the front and has broken out the previous all-time high, that should be prioritized, and I think that should be looked at for medium-term investing also. So I would like to go for Adani Ports and Adani Power. Adani Ports, to be precise, from the large cap space looks very strong. No doubt from the higher level, it has seen some intraday correction, but primary trend is positive. Adani Port was not able to cross the 900 level, which we saw yesterday. It took out that resistance and it's sustaining above that. So if from here somebody wants to take a new fresh position, I think Adani Port is one of the stock which I would definitely look for, looking at the risk reward ratio, and followed by Adani Power, which is also at the all time high. So as compared to the other stocks, I like Adani Ports and Adani Power on the charts.
Okay. The other index that I wanted to mark in today's trade was the BSE Power Index. Lots of moves coming here on the power sector. You've seen a record high on Adani Power, as Vinayji just discovered. NTPC, Tata Power, these are stocks which are in a very, very strong uptrend. And the index itself is up 2.5%. 5,595 in front of you. These are mild profit bookings that are happening on the screen, but a very, very strong price action coming on the power space. Tata Power to you, Vinayji. What do you see? 4.5%, 5%, the counter at a record high today on substantially higher volumes. What is this stock telling you?
Yeah, so if you were to go by the weekly charts, it has formed a bullish cup and handle pattern, and it has broken out from that particular pattern. It has made a new all-time high. The previous all-time high was 293, which was made in April 2022, and it has taken out that resistance. So it is a very good sign. If you were to go by weekly and monthly chart, it still looks very strong on the charts, and it has got good potential to extend this rally. So one should continue to hold on the long position. As far as short-term supports are concerned, I think 285 is a strong support for the traders. And for positional traders, I would suggest a stop loss at 270 odd levels. So looking at the technicals and the kind of patterns it is forming on the weekly and monthly chart, I think still steam is left, and this can extend the rally towards 325 levels on the upside. So I would advise to hold on the long position in the stock like Tata Power, which looks very convincing on the weekly and monthly charts.
Okay. The reason, ladies and gentlemen, it's really difficult to take a technical or a buy call on these stocks at the immediate moment is because we've had a 5-6 day rally in the broader market, and all these stocks that we talk about are overextended on many technical parameters and indicators. So a lot of abundant caution has to be uh, expressed, it has to be exhibited, and it has to be taken if you're trying to make a fresh entry into the market as of now. Of course, there is no let up when it comes to these rallies that we are seeing, but what can be done? भाव भगवान है और जो हमें बाजार देता है उसी पर हम लोगों को बात करना पड़ता है. This is also a good time to see the record highs, the fresh record highs in terms of stocks that the market has thrown up today. The fertilizer space is buzzing with gains. RCF, Rashtriya Chemicals and Fertilizers, at 150-135 is up 12%. This is blue sky territory for you. You have similar gains coming in Coromandel International, 1234, 2.24% higher, and a host of other fertilizer stocks just as GSFC, 223.10, 4.5% higher. So within the fertilizer space, a lot of activity happening on the long side. The other stocks that have hit record highs, and there are many of them in the BSE 500, is of course Cochin Shipyard, 1262, 7% higher. Hindustan Aeronautics now touching 2700, 5.8% higher. Bharat Dynamics, 1285, 3.4% higher. And you have the likes of now, how should I say, permanent residents there, RECL 400 and Birla Soft 652. Coming to you, Vinayji, would you like to express an opinion on Hindustan Aeronautics? I have to ask you because the counter is 5.5% higher. There is no let up in momentum, 2700 in front of you.
Yes, definitely it is into uncharted territory and blue sky territory, we can say, and it is on the continuation of an uptrend, and PSU, defense, both these themes are supporting this stock. And if we are holding a long position, I think better to keep this particular stock with a trailing stop loss. So today's low becomes the strong support, which is placed around 2550. So 2550 is a support, and there is no fresh breakout. Risk reward ratio is not favorable going long here in fresh position. So whatever long positions we have as a trader can be kept as a stop loss of 2550. That's the best strategy one can look at, and we should not anticipate the top, or we should not anticipate any target. Better to keep this particular stock in a trailing basis and earn as much as you can from this particular account.
Okay. So again, I'd like to point out, if you are invested in Hindustan Aeronautics, you're very lucky, do not exit. This is a momentum that is continuing on the uptrend. But taking positions on the long side at this level is extremely dangerous. Please exercise full caution. And the fact that the run-up has been sharp as well as accompanied by very high volumes also points to wider participation. What else looks interesting in this particular space? There is a rally that has just begun, and that's into Gujarat State Fertilizer Corporation, Vinayji, 223. Fairly okay kind of a stock, you know, not that much of a high beta at the moment, but moving on strength. GSFC for you, sir.
Yeah, clearly into a momentum, and recently we saw a day before yesterday there was a breakout about 215. So rounding bottom formation is there, and we can see a target of let's say 30 rupees up from 215. So almost we can expect a target of 250. It is into a fertilizer and chemical space, and the icing on the cake is that it is into a belongs to the PSU sector also. So all in all, it looks very strong. Looking at the sectors and the theme as well as the charts are supporting, so better to remain long. And in fact you are going long at this point of time, then also I think you can earn good money out of it. So I'm expecting this stock to extend this rally towards the 250 target, and the stop loss can be kept at 215 at this point of time. So looks very convincing on the charts.
Okay. Now what we'll do is that since we are already close to 3 p.m., We'll look at stocks which have seen a very, very high degree of investor participation. As far as the total turnover is concerned, whether they are in gain or loss, that's an entirely different matter. So today's top trading counter is Adani Enterprises, 2,903, down 2%. 5,383 crores worth of transactions have been done on Adani Enterprises. Second is Adani Ports, 1,022, about a percent higher, and roughly 3,908 crores worth of transactions have happened. You have Adani Solutions, Adani Green, and Adani Total Gas, anywhere between 25 to 3,300 shares, 3,300 crore worth of shares have been traded. HDFC Bank. Now, this is something to be taken note of. Remember, on most occasions, if there are 22 trading days in a month, as far as the Indian markets are concerned, on 15 or 16, the top traded counter is HDFC Bank, and rightly so, because it's the heaviest weighted counter on the index. Today, HDFC Bank has shown transactions worth 2,500 crores. Of course, the counter is 0.5% higher, 1630, but it's ranked 6th on the list of most actively traded counters. The top 5, of course, belong to the Adani group. Then again, you have Adani Power, the counter up almost 5%, and 2,460, 2,460 crores worth of shares have been traded as far as Adani Power is concerned. Then we have Reliance, and then of course Hindustan Aeronautics, which is bringing up the rear. Getting back to Vinayji. Vinay, when you look at the strong performance of Axis Bank and ICICI Bank, both record levels on the index, which one would you prefer? ICICI Bank 1,004, it had hit a fresh record high yesterday, and of course Axis remains in a very, very strong bull grip. What would you prefer, sir?
I would prefer ICICI Bank because it has broken out on the charts, and yesterday only it broke out the crucial resistance which was there around 1,000 level, and it is sustaining above that. So I am a bit convinced looking at the chart setup in the ICICI Bank. Axis is no doubt into continuation of an uptrend, but at this point of time, if fresh trades were to be taken, then I would go with the ICICI Bank. I'm expecting 5 to 6% upside in the stock like ICICI Bank. So still today's fall, I think it is a buying opportunity for the traders, and on the downside, I see a support around 990 odd levels, and on the upside, 1,050, 1,060 can be expected out of this. So I would go for ICICI Bank for the short-term trades.
Okay. ICICI is Vinay's preferred pick in the private sector banking space. With that, just a short break. It's already through 3:02 p.m. Another 28 minutes of trade left. Do join us. Thank you, Vinay, for your wonderful views on both the main indices where you are extremely bullish. On the other side of the break, we'll look at stocks that are at fresh 52-week highs and sectors that are outperforming the main index, which is the Nifty, up 80 points, 20,952. We'll be back shortly.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe for multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines, and many other sectors.
In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-Risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to what has been a roaring bull market on the Lal Street even today. The Nifty. Let's look at the Sensex this time. It's up 0.6% at 69,720. Just a shade below what is going to be a magical 70,000 mark. At the moment, you have 21 stocks out of 30 in the Sensex which are in the green. The Nifty, of course, sticking 83 points in front of you at 23,938. The day's high is 954. Let's see what happens over the next 22 minutes. Mr. Ashish Kapoor, CEO of Invest Shopper, joins us, a fellow Delhi wala. Welcome, sir. What a wonderful market that we are seeing unfolding in front of us. What is the thought process in Delhi, close to the seat of power, about how this bull market is unfolding? What do you think?
So it is definitely surprising us on the upside. I mean, of course, we are very happy since we are investors, but frankly speaking, I think this is getting into a frenzy because if you look at it, I mean, actually, frankly, what has happened is that there are three states, important states, which have given little better than expected results in favor of the ruling party. But in that process, your broad indices have gone up 5% nearly in three trading sessions. So I think it's a little euphoric kind of feeling. And while one, of course, hopes that this kind of thing should continue and happen more often, but I think time to be a little careful and also time to definitely start looking at profit booking opportunities, especially in the stocks where you do not have a very long term view, which you have held for a shorter period of duration or which were kind of trading calls. I think it calls for profit booking as soon as possible.
Okay, this is a very sensible advice coming in from a gentleman who's spent close to 30 years in the market. While the froth is there, while the music is at its peak, and while everybody is wanting to get into the door, the best strategy would be to at least book partial profit in stocks that have run up very sharply and keep one foot at the edge of the exit. That's some wonderful piece of advice coming in from Mr. Kapoor. Again, Ashish ji, even in all kinds of markets, you get deeply undervalued stocks, relatively undervalued stocks. Should you want to book this kind of a profit, where would you shift this money to?
But I think IT looks quite interesting. IT has done nothing for a good period of time. You have a TCS, which also has a buyback, open. So kind of, at least you can say on books, it's looking very very good because after the buyback, the fundamentals will improve further. And while, of course, the headwinds are very strong in the IT sector, I do believe very strongly that whatever might happen, the Indian IT sector is there to stay and there to grow and prosper. So I think once the sentiment turns around, the IT sector has a long, long way to go, and it's kind of undervalued in the sense that it hasn't participated in the rally, and also even the ownership is not is not overly overowned. It is in fact shed a lot of its flab, lot of FI selling has also happened here. So IT would be my main focus. I think you should look at TCS, Infosys, HCL Tech, these sort of counters in. Then I think, like if you look around, I mean, there are certain stocks which haven't run up the way some other of its peers have run up. For example, IRCTC looks quite interesting. It hasn't moved for a while. Today, in fact, it has gone up. Just about maybe last 2 hours, it has picked up a little space. But otherwise, it has been lying low relative to the other railway stocks also. So there could be some value here. Then individually, yes, there are. If you look around, there are certain stocks across the board which somehow haven't got noticed. I would think something like an IEX, though it has run up a bit from the low, but still has a long way to go. IEX could be another good opportunity which is still available at a reasonable value. And I think the whatever the regulation change happened has been factored in pretty well. The stock has corrected for a very long period of time and has now started moving. So I think this is another stock where the upside is quite immense and downside risk is, I think, very limited. So like that, there would be a lot of ideas, but one will have to, of course, work a little harder. The low-hanging fruit is more or less, I think, behind us.
Right. As Mr. Kapoor very rightly points out towards TCS, If you were a part of the morning show with us, we had caught the 3580 call. I'll request the PCR to fire TCS 3580 call expiring on 28th December. This was discussed at somewhere like 5758 rupees with Mr. Brijesh Ail, and at the moment this call is trading in the vicinity of 95.96. At the same time, let's look at the Infosys call as well. I think the one that we discussed was 1470. Let's see what's that transpiring at the moment at. These are the two calls on the IT sector that we had discussed in the vicinity of 26.28. This one is now trading at 35 rupees. So these are the two option trades that you can still look at. We are on the early part of December at the moment. Almost prices normally of options also expand. You mentioned, sir, about IRCTC as also IEX, both from the government stable. Where do you think IRCTC is headed? 740 is what I see, and we've seen the stock trying to retrace its previous high that was hit in September 23. Where do you think IRTC is headed?
I think IRCTC is actually a very good play because it's relatively asset light model. It will grow with volume as the railway passenger volume grows, and I think it's almost a no-brainer with the kind of infrastructure which railways have put in and the kind of travel pickup which we have seen in the domestic sector, whether it be leisure, religion travel or work travel. So I think with the increasing flow of railway traffic, this is bound to do well and continue doing well. And best is because it's relatively asset light compared to other railway stocks. This is a very asset light model. So the return ratios will keep improving, and they have a lot of leverage which they can play, going forward. So I think this 1000 would be a target which you should keep in mind, which I think should happen, in my opinion, within 1 year.
That's a fairly decent kind of an uptick. So somewhere like 250 on 750 is a 33% appreciation in 12 months. That's doing fairly well if you look at how markets are ticking. Ashish ji, the other thought that's coming into my mind is this intense amount of frenetic buying activity happening in the power space. Record high on Tata Power, record high on NTPC. Adani Power, of course, is blooming fairly well. Amongst the power sector stocks, what would be your two picks towards the NBFCs or power generators or power equipment makers? What do you like, sir?
Well, I think you just said it. I think the two would perhaps be Tata Power and NTPC, because I think the power finance companies have really run up, and I think this would be the order. I think Tata Power and NTPC, where I think if you look at what they are projecting, there is still a lot of value here. So these two would be my picks in this sector.
Okay, Tata Power is what is looking good, 5% higher today on fairly substantial volumes. Again, Ashish ji, getting back to our Delhi roots, BHEL, this is a Delhi-based headquartered company doing fantastically well on the power equipment side. Would you have a view on this one? 80 bucks just a couple of months ago, and now 180, a 120% appreciation, and there is still no let up. What is happening on BHEL?
Well, I think 85, you're right, was some time back. And I think you go down further, I think maybe 2 years back, it was 30 or 35, something like that. I mean, it has been a great multiplier, and has surprised us on the upside, coming out of many years of underperformance. So again, a stock, but I think I frankly would like to wait. I think it's a very volatile sector. It's gone up a lot, but I would still like to wait for it to maybe take a dip at some point of time before thinking of entering. But yes, the sector for sure has turned around. I mean, look around, almost everything in this sector has gone up. And but BHL, of course, it percentage wise the maximum, because it was also hit the hardest, and it was lying low very low, but almost forgotten share for I think a decade. And but yes, now more scope, but I think not immediately. Wait for it to correct at some point of time.
Okay, and you can actually gauge the intensity of caution in Mr. Kapoor's voice, and that's something which is really well appreciated and much needed. Uh, there are people across the board who meet you towards the evening, in the afternoon, over a cup of tea in the morning, and all they want is a stock idea. Such is the frenzy in the market at this moment, given the Modi premium that we are seeing exhibited in the market. And it's a voice of calmness, a voice of experience and wisdom that is coming via Mr. Kapoor on market today. Ashish ji, one word of sympathy for bears.
Well, I think no, I think they also have their good days. I mean, let's not get carried away. There are days when the bears are laughing, and I think in fact bears do need to be also encouraged because markets actually go up with the help of bears. I mean, it's a short trap which actually takes the market higher in the fastest way. So you do need bears, and I respect them. I love them, and I think the only thing is, ki right now, of course, the days are bad, but they will also have their day. I mean, markets are not never going to be one-sided. Much as I would hate to say it, but yes, they would also have their days. They would also have their good days, which will happen whenever they happen. But yes, like I said, I mean, you can't if you have only bulls in the market, it will be a very dull market and it will not actually go up much. Also, you need those bears to create those short positions, which are then squeezed and the market goes higher. So you need the bear is as important as the bull for the market to go up.
Absolutely. Ashish ji, just requesting a bit of patience at your end. We'll be in a short break, and before that, let me just tell you the top five gainers on Nifty, which are Wipro up 3.4%, 419. L&T Mindtree 5636, gaining 2.5%. ITC, that's 463, 2.5% higher. L&T and TCS bringing the rear of the top five as far as markets are. On the other side, we'll be discussing a lot of rallies that are happening in the mid-cap space, especially the fertilizer sector. Stay tuned.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe for multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines, and many other sectors.
In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-Risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today.
And we are back with you, ladies and gentlemen, on what is panning out to be a fantastic day for the bulls. The 7th or the 8th day in a row as far as markets are concerned. Let's shift focus and look at what the Nifty small cap index is doing for a change. 14,506 in front of you, 0.3% higher. As also the mid cap index, 44,222, up 0.2%. Remember, both these indices are at record levels as far as markets are concerned. Within this space, let's look at the top gainers in the small cap index. Remember, we've been sort of enamored with the kind of rally that you've seen over the last 2 or 3 sessions on the Nifty, that top gainers in the small cap space have sort of gone away into oblivion. Balaji Amines 11% higher to 2281. Cochin Shipyard fresh record high 1284, 0.7% up. Chambal Fertilizers 7% higher, 352. Deepak Fertilizers 672, 5% higher. And of course, Gujarat Narmada Fertilizer Corporation 737 in front of you, up 3.5%. Ashishji, coming back to you and discussing this fertilizer space, of course, dominated by PSU players. Is there something that catches your fancy in the current setup? A balance sheet which shows strength, maybe a group that has been in existence for 50, 70 years and has seen the ups and downs of the fertilizer space. Anything that you can name?
Well, I think RCF was looking very good, but RCF has really run up like a bullet today. So no point now trying to chase. Otherwise, it was for a long, very long period lying low and looking very, very good at valuation, at valuation wise. The other thing I can think of is, you see, the major chemical rally was something which played out about a couple of years back when almost everything was going up. You have to be a little selective, but I quite like the business model and the way Deepak Nitrite is run. So I think while you really, if you have to play chemicals, you have to keep watching for prices of different chemicals. But if you really want to buy one and let's say leave it for some period of time, then Deepak Nitrite is something which I can bet on. I think the stock has also undergone a correction, and I think that would be something which I can put money even at this level for the long run and hope to make good money.
Yes, of course, we've seen fairly high numbers on Deepak Nitrite. I think, if I remember correctly, it was a record high of 3,100 on this one some 18, 20 months ago. And at the moment, this one quoting 2255, 19% higher. Ashiji, we normally don't discuss the likes of Hindustan Unilever, Nestle, ITC. They've traditionally been superb wealth creators. They work very quietly, and given the high PE for stocks like Nestle and all, the discussion becomes redundant. But within the FMCG SPAC, given the aspirational growth in India, is there a stock that you like in particular?
Well, I think despite having run up, the stock which I think can sit over it for a few years still and it will continue to multiply will be Tata Consumer, I think. Again, this not the best of times to enter Tata Consumer. It has run up, but still has a long, long way to go, I think. I think in terms of valuation, this will still be a very good multiplier over the next 3, 4, 5 years. Of course, Nestle's and ITC's and Unilever's will and Britannia's would do well, but this would be a compounding story. I think still, despite having run up, it's still a compounding story. So with this one stock I have to pick up, it will be Tata Consumer.
Tata Consumer, okay. 900 something is what I see, and it's the flagship of the Tata Group as far as their step into the FMCG space is concerned. You know it better as Starbucks, and this is how the counter is. This is also at a fairly record high at the current levels and moving strongly. Both being Delhiwalas, Ashish ji, you and me, a view on the real estate space. What do you like here?
I continue to like DLF. I think somewhere again the advantage of being in Delhi NCR, you know the strength of DLF, and I think with real estate prices and the volume picking up, I think DLF has a very very strong foothold in Delhi NCR, especially Gurgaon, and something which is going to now really play very well. The other thing which DLF has done very well over the past many years is they've got out of all the diversifications which they had done. All the mistakes have been corrected. The debt levels are very, very reasonable. There is a huge amount of rental income which is yet to be fully monetized, and so there are plenty of triggers. And I think valuation wise, it looks very comfortable compared to a Godrej Properties or some other stocks. It looks very reasonable, and also compared to any other story, I think this is a very very solid story because it has a huge land bank, huge amount of rental, and lease income coming in regularly from very marquee clients. So this is something where you can't go wrong. I think DLF, we keep it for a few years, and I've been bullish on DLF for last 3-4 years, I think already doing very well, but I think it will continue doing very well. And there's one stock in real estate which you have to buy, then it's DLF.
Yes, absolutely. India's largest uh, player on the real estate sector. The price that you see at 643 is actually a breakout. This was in June 2008. I remember this was right in the middle of what was the financial meltdown globally, that DLF was at 650, 640 levels, and this is the price which is repeating itself again after a gap of 12 plus 3, 15 years. So this is a kind of breakout that is very well appreciated even by deep pocketed traders, and Ashish ji points out to the fundamental strength of the company in the real estate space. So we've done IT, we've done real estate, we've done FMCG. Defense is what is left, Ashish ji, to take your view on. 3 record highs today: Cochin Shipyard, Bharat Dynamics, and of course Hindustan Aeronautics. Apart from these 3, anything else that you'd like to point out which can be a part of the long-term portfolio?
BEL, I think one which is missing in this list is BEL, a great performer, already has created wealth and has again corrected. So, good important thing, it has also undergone a correction. So BEL would definitely be should be added. Apart from that, I mean defense has very interesting stocks. There are many other companies which are partly in defense, like Bharat Forge. Then there are niche product companies like solar industries and all. So defense is very good, but one stock which you must have in your portfolio is BEL.
Okay, so BEL at 157, I think, is the price today. Let's see what comes up on the screen. Is also a record high, but this is a relatively low ticket sized play that is there in front of you. Of course, Hindustan Aeronautics 2700, Cochin Shipyard 1252, Bharat Dynamics in the vicinity of I think 1400. Let's see what comes on the screen. Those are the prices that I remember of my brain, but BEL is something that finds mention from Ashish ji. Anything else, Mr. Kapoor, that I have forgotten asking you and you would like to highlight?
Well, I'd like to highlight that LIC, and after a
Yes.
long period, is now moving. So I think that should be a big relief because there are a lot of investors stuck in it. It's still quoting at a significant discount to its issue price. So hopefully, with LIC getting momentum, and if it gets closer to its issue price, a lot of relief for investors across the board who are stuck in this bellwether stock.
Yes, and till about 1 week ago, LIC was somewhere like at 634, 635, languishing much below its IPO price, and suddenly you see this value discovery that's happened. The other 2 government insurers, NIACL as well as GIC Ray, have been also doing fantastically well. But yes, LIC, very attractive valuations, and of course it's the bellwether for the sector as also for the stock markets, a company that has given birth and of course nurtured corporate India over the last 70-75 years. That's in front of you, ladies and gentlemen. 327, we'll try and wrap this market for you. Ashish ji, thank you so much for your time. What a lovely discussion that we've had, filled with calm wisdom as well as great advice for long-term capital growth. Thank you so much, sir. What a pleasure. We'll hope to see you soon on Market Today. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is 3:28. We'll start wrapping up of what has been the 9th day of very smart gains in front of us. Let's begin with the indices. The Nifty for you is now trading somewhere like 20,925, 20,940, up 0.4%. This is a 4.4% rally on the index over the last 5 days, making it the second best performer globally. This is a record close. Goes without saying that momentum is fairly sharp, and let's hope to see 21,000 fairly soon. It's just 60 points away. No great shakes there. Let's look at the Bank Nifty. Remember, today was the weekly expiry of this wonderful index, 46,812. Nothing has moved. Down 200 points, nothing to lose. This index has appreciated 5.5% over the last 5 trading sessions, making it the best performing index globally as far as its size is concerned. So the Nifty and the Bank Nifty take the top 2 slots on the weekly gainers list globally as far as indices are concerned. Let's look at the top traded counters. We've been discussing this fairly long as far as the markets are concerned. You have in terms of most active transactions, Adani Enterprises, and that's 54,000. That's 5,774 crores worth of stock traded, 2890, down 2.34%. Remember, the stock was at a high of 3154 in the morning trade. Adani Ports in the green, 1,020, consolidating in the 4-digit mark, 4,257 crores worth of transactions happening. The counter up 0.7%. You have HDFC Bank, which is up flat actually, 1626, 3,140 crores worth of transactions. Adani Green, Adani Total and Adani Power are up very sharply, 16, 20 and 5% respectively, and transactions are between 2,600 crores to 3,039 crores. Let's look at the top gainers as far as the Nifty is concerned. A lot of activity that has come into the IT sector. Wipro, L&T Mindtech, TCS, L&T and ITC. These are the top gainers which are moving in front of your screen. Today was a day for IT. I'd also like to mark the Nifty IT index in front of you, 1.6% higher, 33,000. So this is the reason for the rally, and we are tracking the TCS call, I think 3560, and the Infosys call 1470 for you ever since morning. So that's the wrap up on the IT index. I want to make out what are the all-time highs on the counter within the Nifty. So ladies and gentlemen, it's NTPC, Tata Consumer, Power Grid, Tata Motors. These are the ones in the 3 digits. Now look at stocks in the 4 digits that have hit fresh record highs today. L&T 3387, Nestle close to 25,000, M&M, it's changed a digit, now in 1700 space, 1706 in front of me, and of course you have Adani Ports and Sun Pharma. A fairly strong view coming in as far as the markets are concerned, and at this point of time, ladies and gentlemen, we'll wrap it up. What a wonderful day to be in markets. It's the 8th successive day of gains on Dalal Street. It's the Modi premium that is getting exhibited in the minds and actions of all traders and investors. Thank you for joining us, and remain glued to Business Today Television. Lots coming up.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe for multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.
In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-Risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today.